Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about formative and summative assessment. Formative assessment is any kind of assessment that teachers use that are just to see where the student is and if he or she is actually retaining the information that is being taught. Some examples of formative assessment are quizzes, games, projects, presentations, and group activities. Most formative assessments are just to inform the teacher on where the student is, and they're usually not graded. They can be, but they're usually not. Some examples are making an ad, and the students can make an ad for something that they are learning, and adding visuals and information on what they're learning, just so the teacher can see if they're actually retaining the information as it should be. Another idea is using idea comparison. Comparison is where students lay out main ideas and new concepts of what you've been teaching, and they write down what they think the main ideas are, and then they have a time where they compare the ideas in between. You can do pairs or groups, and they can decide on what they agree or disagree are the main ideas, and they just pull from their ideas, they pull them into one group, and then they pull out the important ones that they all can agree on were main ideas. And that way a teacher can see if those were the main ideas she was trying to get across. A teacher can use these to track where her student is. They don't have to be graded, but she can grade them if she wants. And they're just to get information on where the student is and if her teaching is on the right track or if she needs to modify any kind of teaching. Summative assessments are assessments that are done at the end of a course or a big unit. They're graded, and they're just to see what the student has learned of that whole unit, to see if he or she has grasped all the information given. Some examples of summative assessments are tests, final exams, reports, papers, and end of the class projects. And they are done so the teacher can reflect on her teaching to see if she needs to do something different. But this, of course, would be with another class or starting another unit. And it's also for the student to do critical thinking on what that unit was about, that whole unit or that whole teaching of the course was about. So the student does critical thinking and the teacher reflects. Some examples are in-depth reports, and they're just reports on topics. They could be papers or they can be presentations on the whole unit or a whole topic that was taught. Another example would be individual projects, and those are just research projects that would have many aspects going on, so like visuals, explanations, definitions, and that would be so the student can revisit all the information that was taught in that unit and put into one project, so the teacher could see how much the student actually learned in that unit. Some examples of formative assessment would be this packet that I used for one of my lessons on a unit plan on Halloween. This is just an informational passage on bats, and it just goes over different vocabulary and different things about bats. But the formative assessment here would be this small little multiple choice quiz on the back of the actual project or passage, and it just has comprehension questions. So that would be a formative assessment, so the teacher could see if the student actually learned that information or not. For summative assessment, we have the praxis core, and that would be a summative assessment because the test is testing you on all information. So if you flip through, and you go to the mathematics part, it's asking you questions on all subtopics of math. And so that would be a summative assessment.